So I bought new books. Oops. Despite having a very lengthy list of books I haven't finished yet, I bought some more. So these, you can't see, but there's a giant stack here. These are all the books that I've purchased this year in 2022. It's a mixture of fiction and nonfiction, a little bit of everything. We'll just go through one at a time, and I'll share what I got with you. First up is Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism. Let's see, what's the subtitle for this one? Choosing a Focused Life in a Noisy World. So Cal Newport is a computer science professor at Georgetown University. His whole thing is that he doesn't have any social media. He never has, likely never will. All around just smart guy. You might have heard about him rather through his TEDx talk called Quit Social Media. Has some 8 million views, almost 9 million views. I'll link it down below. Is also the author of Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World, and A World Without Email, Reimagining Work in an Age of Communication Overload. So this one was published in 2019. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. The big message behind this one is sort of taking a step back and removing yourself from social media and sort of reassessing how you use your electronics and how you use your time in a way that's more conscious, more conscientious, and making more deliberate choices about how you spend your time instead of just sort of throwing your time away to, infinite scroll and letting the algorithm sort of choose everything for you, being more deliberate about how you use your time. So Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism. Very much looking forward to reading this one. Up next is a teeny tiny book called How to Focus by Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh was a Vietnamese Buddhist monk and Zen master. He was an author, poet, teacher, a little bit of everything. He's best known for his practices and teachings on mindful living, engaged Buddhism, meditation, things like that. So Thich Nhat Hanh is also the founder of Parallax Press, which is a nonprofit publisher for, quote, books and media on the art of mindful living and engaged Buddhism. So this is sort of one I stumbled upon in some nonfiction newsletter. It's got all these really cute little drawings in it. Let me show you. I haven't read it. It's like, as you can tell, it's tiny. This is one in a series with similar titles. There's How to Relax, How to Fight, How to Connect, and they all have these cute little drawings in them, which I think are really nice. Let me find a nice one. So it's just this like teeny tiny little book, cute drawings, and from what I can tell, just little helpful things to make you more mindful of more mindful in general. Like this one's about doing the dishes, which who likes that? I guess Thich Nhat Hanh does. Finding little joy in things like that. One more drawing and we'll move on. I was doing some meditation in the past, and I found it very, 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 very helpful. Sort of just focusing on one more drawing. Focusing on one thing for an extended period of time. In my case, just breathing. So counting 1 through 10 on every breath. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, up until you get to 10, and then repeating, and only doing that for like 30, 45 minutes. So when you focus on one thing for an extended period of time, you sort of like, your brain enters this sort of like flow state, and you might have experienced this with other things, other tasks that, require more dedicated focus. See, isn't that nice? But when you practice that sort of meditation, everything else in the day becomes like exponentially easier because you're like immensely like relaxed for the rest of the day. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like being in like a mental hot tub, and then you're just sort of like, whew, for the rest of the day. Anyway, How to Focus, Thich Nhat Hanh. Again, looking forward to reading this one. If you couldn't tell from these two, I was sort of on this like pop psychology, focus just sort of like mental clarity, that sort of, that sort of chunk of nonfiction. So there were a couple others that I read previously this year that you'll hear about in my next video, books that I've read this year so far. Anyway, that's Thich Nhat Hanh, How to Focus from Parallax Press. The next two are both by the same author. First one is David Foster Wallace's first essay collection, A Supposedly Fun Thing I'll Never Do Again. This is a hardcover first edition. Super, super nice. Big fan. There's David on the back. And some nice blurbs from nice friends. The art on the newer editions I didn't like as much, so I opted to go for a more collectible edition. I think this one looks nicer. It's more product of its time. This one was published in 1997, as you can sort of tell. And it's in great shape, so I'm really happy about this one. Like I said before, this is his first essay collection. It was published in 1997. It has, I think, 6 or 7 different essays in it. There's Derivative Sport in Tornado Alley, about Wallace's brief competitive tennis stint as a teenager. E Unibus Plurum, Television and U.S. Fiction, which is sort of his commentary on the interplay between, it's in the title, the influence of television on U.S. fiction and vice versa, and sort of the world that they both encompass in the late 90s. And then there's several other ones, including the title essay, which is about when Harper's Magazine pays for DFW to go on a cruise ship, and it's overwhelmingly, I can't even begin to describe it. There's a really excellent video of David Foster Wallace reading from this book, and also one other essay that I don't remember what book it's a part of, but there's a video that I'll link down below of him reading the title essay of this one and detailing his time on a cruise ship with every amenity just taken care of to a ridiculous degree. It's hysterical, and it's a real joy to just listen to the author read his own work. So that was the first one. The second one is another essay collection by David Foster Wallace. This is his last essay collection, both Flesh and Nhat. I haven't read any of this one yet. I've started A Supposedly Fun Thing, but I sort of stopped after the second essay. I just sort of revisit it periodically and read a little bit here and there. Yeah, not much more to say about this one. I haven't started it yet, but I'm very happy to have a copy on my shelf. I think this one, yeah, here we go. This is an ex-library copy from Kagoya Kozga Public Library. I'll have to look up where that is. Anyway, super nice edition. Very happy. Another good DFW on the shelf. So transitioning into the world of fiction, first one I picked up was Don DeLillo's Underworld, a hefty tome, this one. And as you can tell by the bookmark, I've already started this one. It's really, really excellent, which I'm pleasantly surprised by. It's I didn't like white noise when I had first read it. I think the characters just really annoyed me, and the dialogue was just not good. I wrote a review way back when. I'll have to revisit my notes on it. This book always comes up alongside the other postmodern giants, like Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon, and Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. Again, as you can tell by the bookmark, I've already started this one. I'm 68 pages in. And look at this cute bookmark I'm using. I figured I'd give Don DeLillo another shot, since every writer I like already has cited him as an influence. And I'm really glad I did. This one's really terrific so far. His prose is just excellent. Up next is one that was recommended to me long ago, but I just never got around to buying it until recently. This is W.G. Sebald's The Rings of Saturn. This was published in 1995. It's a semi-autobiographical first-person narrator tours the coast of England and details what he sees. All the reviews I've read of this have just sort of described it as sort of ethereal, dreamlike, sort of slipping between memoir, biography, fiction, nonfiction, and has these really nice, here we go. It's beautiful photographs of England and other things that Sebald saw. Yeah, so this is just sort of like the blurring, if you can see that okay. Just sort of blurring the boundary between like fiction, nonfiction, really just getting you into this world that Sebald was in. Like I said before, this sat on my Amazon wishlist for like 6 years. I just never got it. It was recommended by a good friend of mine long ago, so I'm very happy to be finally picking this one up. Hope you're doing well, Paul. Thanks for recommending this one to me. Next on fiction is going to be one that everyone's probably heard of. I don't know if everyone's read it. I don't know. It's the Da Vinci Code. It's at every used bookstore. It's at every regular bookstore, every flea market. I didn't have a copy, and this was literally $1. So I don't know. I never saw the movie. I always thought the concept was cool. Literally $1. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. And the very last one is Warlock by Oakley Hall. So this is a Western. This is very much outside of what I normally read. I've never read a Western. They in general, they don't really appeal to me. I didn't think I was really the target audience for them. I don't know how to say it. But I picked this one up because it was cited as one of Thomas Pynchon's favorite books while he was at Cornell. Thomas Pynchon being one of my favorite writers. It also features this really nice blurb on the back from Pynchon. It was, while Pynchon was at Cornell, it was him and one of his best friends who sort of just fell in love with this book and later went on to influence Pynchon's writing. There's an excellent video by Daniel Backer, Off the Wall Novels, that I'll link below, that actually convinced me to buy this book. And he does a way better job explaining, what this book is about and why it's so important and why it's so, influential to Pynchon, and specifically how it influenced his writing. Definitely check out his video. So that's it. That's everything. I'm going to share more about what I've read this year so far. These are all ones I haven't started yet, ones that I'm only just starting. But I'll do a separate video pretty soon about all the books that I've read so far this year, as well as my progress on my GoodReads challenge. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.